neighborhood, there will be an increase in U.S. military presence in the hemisphere. This will include an enhanced presence of ships, aircraft, and security forces.
Ya se encuentra todo listo para sacar a Nicolás Maduro del poder y devolverle a Venezuela y a los venezolanos su libertad y su democracia. Así lo manifestó el comandante Chrysler, jefe del Comando Sur de Estados Unidos, quien calificó la situación que vive Venezuela como un círculo vicioso de delincuentes, narcotraficantes y terroristas y una tragedia para el hemisferio. Feller indicó que pronto comenzará un despliegue en la región de fuerzas militares de Estados Unidos y sus aliados. Incluyen buques de guerra, aviones y fuerzas de seguridad. Recalcó que el mundo libre y democrático ya está listo para devolverle a Venezuela y a los venezolanos la libertad y la democracia y eliminar la amenaza que significa el Estado criminal que dirige Nicolás Maduro para el resto de los países de la región. Fellers se refirió también a los 5 millones de venezolanos que han sido obligados a abandonar el país y que ahora se encuentran refugiados en el resto de los países de Latinoamérica, Estados Unidos y Europa.
Chairman Smith, Ranking Member Thornberry, distinguished members, thank you for the opportunity to testify today. I'm honored to be here with Secretary Rapuano and my friend, shipmate, and cousin, General O'Shaughnessy. We work very closely together to defend the homeland and ensure there is no seams between our regions, because we certainly know that the bad guys don't pay attention to seams. Last year, General O'Shaughnessy and I traveled to Mexico City and Guatemala City to make that very point to our friends and neighbors. I'm joined by Ambassador Jean Maines, former U.S. Ambassador to El Salvador, and my civilian deputy, who brings with her a wealth of knowledge about our region and a deep understanding of China in our hemisphere. Western Hemisphere is our shared home. It's our neighborhood. We're connected to the nations here in every domain: sea, air, land, space, cyber, and most importantly, with our values. Over the last year, I've seen firsthand the opportunities and the challenges that impact the security of our hemisphere. And we've also understand the urgency with which we must react to those challenges. I've come to describe the challenges as a vicious circle of threats that deliberately erodes the stability and security in the region and our homeland. Vicious circles framed by systemic issues that face young democracies like weak institutions, corruption, that are exploited by transnational criminal organizations, a $90 billion a year industry in this hemisphere. These institutions are often better funded than the security organizations they face, and external state actors that don't share our values, China, Russia, and Iran, and violent extremist organizations exploit this. They're trying to advance their own ends at the expense of U.S. and partner nation security. In fact, the aha moment for me this past year has been the extent to which China is aggressively pursuing their interests right here in our neighborhood. Why would China invest in critical infrastructure like deep water ports and large swaths of coastline within a 2-hour flight from Miami? Why would China want to lock up total interest in a space station in this hemisphere? They certainly recognize the importance of this part of the world, and so must we. This vicious circle I described can be seen most acutely in the tragedy that is Venezuela. Human suffering in this once thriving democracy has driven nearly 5 million people to flee to neighboring countries like Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, and more. These countries are absorbing the migrants and the strain that is placed on their healthcare, education, and security services. Colombia alone has spent over $2.5 billion in the last 2 years to support migrants. And while Russia, Cuba, and China prop up the illegitimate Maduro dictatorship, the democracies of the world are looking for a way to get the Venezuelan people what they deserve, a free and prosperous Venezuela. The best way to attack this vicious circle is as a team. Northcom, Southcom team, our interagency team, our whole of nation team, and with our partners. In this neighborhood, a little goes a long way, and our partners are willing to contribute, especially with U.S. encouragement, investment, and presence. In recognition of the complex threats challenging our neighborhood, there will be an increase in U.S. military presence in the hemisphere later this year. This will include an enhanced presence of ships, aircraft, and security forces to reassure our partners, improve U.S. and partner readiness and interoperability, and counter a range of threats to include illicit narco-terrorism. Last year, our partners played a critical role in 50% of our drug interdictions, up from 40% the year before. Getting our partners in the game by training and equipping them through security cooperation programs is exactly the right approach. These threats affect all of us here in our neighborhood, and we must tackle them together. Likewise, international military education training, IMET, is a small investment that yields long-term returns. It builds lasting, trusted relationships. As I speak, half our region's chiefs of defense are graduates of IMET. Along with exercises are our North Star. IMET, exercises, and security cooperation are the last programs we should consider cutting. Deployments like the United States Naval Ship Comfort show the best outstretched hand of America. The mission this year treated nearly 68,000 patients, extending our enduring promise as a trusted partner to the neighborhood. Thanks to the support of this committee, we also deployed a multi-mission support vessel, acronym MMSV, a contracted innovative ship that is supporting counter-drug detection and supporting our partners as a platform for their extended reach. The MMSV is using intelligence produced by Joint Interagency Task Force South, JIATF South. JIATF South, located in Key West, our southernmost base in the continental United States, is a strategic and significant value for defending a wide range of threats to our national security. And we are working to take steps to improve the resiliency and the quality of life there in one of the highest cost regions in the nation. At our headquarters in Miami, we are also working to address the cost of living and housing concerns that create hardships for our families. Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Thornberry, thank you for the opportunity today. The Southcom team appreciates the support of Congress and the trust you place in us. I look forward to the questions.
Thank you very much. I just have two questions. Admiral Fuller, can you give us an update on Venezuela? How are China and Russia potentially involved there? What are our interests there, and how is it impacting the region?
The Maduro regime continues to cling to power and brutalize the population. The Human Rights Report this year listed a significant number of human rights abuses by the Maduro regime. Maduro stays in power because of the thousands of Cubans that protect and guard him and basically own the intelligence service in Venezuela. Russia in the numbers of hundreds right in there alongside, working to upgrade air defense systems. Russian special forces working to train and Maduro forces, and China to a lesser extent, but China is involved in particularly in some of the cyber areas, working to their interest. Unfortunately, this has allowed Maduro to cling to power and continue to brutalize the population. The narco traffickers have taken advantage of this, as well as ELN and FARC dissidents terrorists, and that instability, along with the migrants, has spawned instability out in the region. It's a credit to partners like the Colombia that they've handled it so well.
And that's not going to change anytime soon. Maduro is pretty solidly in power at this point, would be your estimation.
Maduro's isolated and continues to be isolated. International unity is there. We're continuing to work with Special Representative Elliot Abrams and State Department for the pressure campaign. Unfortunately, this transition can't happen soon enough for the brutalized population.